Hey there, guys. So today we are talking about 8.3 and are on page 409. And let's get started. So what we've done in the past is you've been able to graph linear functions and even use a table to graph it. I've even given you a little bit of hint at y equals mx plus b. So today what we're going to be doing is finding the slope of a line that's already there. And one of the things that you can do once you find the slope of a line is you'll be able to find pay rates. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is this concept of what is a slope. So slope is the ratio, there's that word again, ratio of the rise to the run between any 2 points on a line. So in other words, it's basically a line that shows rise, which goes up, vertical change, or down, and then run this way or this way on any 2 points in a line. Now, really simply first, if you have a line that looks like this, it could be anything moving in that direction. It could be this, could even be this. We refer to these as having positive slope. If they go down like this, or even like this, or like this, these are lines that have negative slope. And then lastly, if a line has no slope, that means that there's no change. So it's like that. That means it has a slope of 0. Or it could just be this as well. Slope of 0. So let's talk about it a little bit more closely. So what I'm talking about when I say rise and run is basically a fraction. Rise, again, is change in vertical, so up and down. So in this case, it's going to have -1. It's going to go down 1. And the run, which is horizontal, is going to go 5. So right 5. So let's see what that looks like on a graph. So on a graph, you can see I need to start with a point, which will be given. In this case, the point is 3, 2. And my next point will be along the same slope, on the same line. I go down 1, because the rise is -1, and I go to the right 5. -1, 5. And then I plot my point, and then I can connect my line. Okay, let's keep it moving. So the next concept I want to talk about is, well, how do you find the slope? If you're given a line and you need to find the slope of a line by finding the ratio of the rise to the run between any 2 points on the line, you start with any point. In this case, the first point would be right here at 1, 2. And let's start, remember, rising first. It goes up first, and then it goes to the right. So up 2 to the right 4. So the slope for this line is up 2, rise 2, run 4. I mean, rise is vertical change, run is horizontal change. And in this case, I can simplify 2 over 4 as to 1/2. Let's look at this one here. So in this one, I start with this point, and my next point is actually down. And so since I'm going down, I'm going to count each point negative. So -1, -2, -3. And then I'm going to go to the right 1, 2, 3. So my rise is -3. My run is +3. It's positive because I'm moving in the positive direction. The rise is negative because it's moving in the negative direction. And so -3 over 3 simplifies to equal -1. So when the line of when the graph of a line represents a real world situation, the slope of the line can often be interpreted as a rate. And so let's take a look at what that would be. So volcanoes is going to be our category for today. And the graph represents the distance traveled by a lava flow over time. And to find the speed of the lava flow, you find the slope of the line. So here's our first point, 4, 6. And so our slope is rise over run. And so it's going to go 6 up, 6 up, and then 4 across. Rise 6, 4 over. And you're probably asking me, well, how do you know that? And it's because my line starts at 0, comma, 0. And from 0, comma, 0, I go 6 up and 4 over. 6, rise 6, run 4. And when I simplify that, I end up with 6 over 4, and that can actually be simplified as to a unit rate of divide by 4, and 6 divided by 4 is 1.5 miles per hour. So this graph shows that the lava is flowing at 1.5 miles per hour. I think one of the challenging things when you're looking at this is you're probably going to take a look at the line and say, well, where do I start? And if you only have 1 point, but it starts at the origin, when it comes to finding a rate, start at the origin. It goes rise 6, run 4. Okay, the third thing, actually, what you want to do first is there's 2 guided practice questions on page 410 that you should do right now. Pause the video and do those right now. On those 2 ones, you're going to be plotting points and then finding the slope of a line. And then in the next one, you're going to use this example of volcanoes and lava, except you're going to suppose that the line starts at the origin and passes through the point 3, 6 instead of 4, 6. And you're going to have to find out what the slope of that line is and then the speed. Extend that to finding out what a speed is. Remember, first you have to write it as rise over run and then find the unit rate, just like we see here in example 2. Okay, let's go into the last concept for today. So using slope to draw a line. Now, here we're looking at another challenge. In this case, it says draw the line that has a slope of -3. So there's your slope, -3. And it passes through 2, 5. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is plot 2, 5. There it is right there. And then I can use my slope. I'm going to write my slope as a fraction. My rise is -3. So instead of going up, I'm going to go down, but at vertical change. And my run is 1. I'm going to go to the right 1. So I'm going to move 3 units down and 1 unit to the right to plot a second point. And I make my second point, and then I draw a line through the 2 points. And then I've done it. I've used my slope to draw a line. Now, the last thing you have to do is with the guided practice is number 3 and 4. In this case, you're going to draw the line that has a slope of 1/3 or 1 over 3 and passes through point 2, 5. And the fourth one is draw a line that has a slope of -4 and passes through -1,